Aloha from Colorado. This is the Bell's Basic move that I asked one of the age groups to do at home before I see everyone again next week. In the end, both age groups should try this one out. It's very simple. You just set up a rectangle in your yard. This is right here. This is 2 yards, and then across the front, that is 3 yards. So the primary move here is the Bell's Basic. Bell's Basic is where we throw the ball back and forth between our legs. It looks like this again. As you notice, I'm throwing the ball and catching it, trying to keep it silent when the ball taps my foot. Try to keep that moment silent. The more silent it is, the softer my touch control is in order to accomplish that. Next, we're going to add what I call tucking, like tucking in the sheets on the bed. A tuck utilizes the ankle to turn in, okay, like this. Turning my ankle in this way, there, that's a tuck. We're using that tuck maneuver in order to change directions of the bell. If we tuck in, then the bell will go behind. Okay, here it is again. So here's bell, bell, and then bell tuck, bell tuck. Opposite of the tuck would be opening the ankle, like so. So open the ankle instead of tucking the ankle. I open the ankle at the end of the bell. This will push the ball forward. I call this bell L because the ball goes in the shape of an L and it looks like this. Here's bell L. At the end of the bell, here's bell, bell. Now at the end, open and push the ball forward. This is a maneuver to get around a tackle. Okay, and then to practice this, we set up a little rectangle, real simple. This one here is 2 yards, 2 yards. This one here is 3 yards. I practiced a lot to move my finger like this. It was very difficult. 2 yards by 3 yards rectangle in the backyard. And you're going to go bells across the front, and then a bell tuck to go to the back line, and then bells across the back, and a bell L to get back to the front line. Now I like to use inside on the sides to get back and forth. Okay, now the tuck maneuver and the bell L maneuver, they require my ankle to open and close. And they require it to do that without using the rest of my leg or any other muscles in the leg. Just the ankle to open and close, not the whole thing. It looks like this. So here, tuck. It's tuck maneuver, and this is open maneuver. Okay, so bell L and bell tuck. Now, in order to do these moves, your ankle has to be able to move like that, and these muscles must be trained in order to do that. And it can be done very simply while watching TV, while reading a book, while sitting in class. You can work your ankle out to give it the range of motion to be able to do this. Okay. Real simple. If you want to learn to do this, then just hold your knee in place. Just tap your knee so that you know you're not moving it, and just go in, 10 times. As you notice, my toe is pulled up, so I pull my toe up and then go in. I also should be able to go down and in. Those 2 motions. So up, in, down, in. I also can go out. It doesn't move as far out. I'd have to open my hips a little to get it to move far out, but up, out, and down, out. If you just work these maneuvers while reading a book or listening to a podcast, then you can train your ankles to be stronger and more flexible. And the key part is not any other part of your leg is moving, only the foot. The rest stays still. If you're doing this, in order to turn my ankle in, if I'm doing this, well, I'm also using my hip muscles, and I don't want to use my hip muscles to control a ball with great skill. I want to only use my feet. Now here is one example of another move that I'm able to do, and any player is able to do, if you get your ankle to be able to move like this, independently of the rest of your leg. This is a very simple move to escape pressure or escape a tackle. Looks like this. Again, I'll show you here. The details of this move are as follows. Step one is I want to open my hips and show pass. Show pass to this direction. That makes defenders step here a little bit, put a little weight this way by showing them pass. So I step in here, I show pass. Once I've shown pass, now all I need to do is cut the ball the other direction. Showing pass makes the defender lean, cut the ball the other direction. Show pass, cut the other direction. Now the cut is where the skill is involved. As I step down on the ball, I must have a whipping action. Whip, whip. I don't want to step with a straight leg like this. Don't do this. You want to come from above the ball with a bent leg so that the bent, coiled leg can whip down to the ground. At the very end of the whipping action, right there, is where I cut my ankle across, like so. That ankle movement we're working on. So I whip and cut the ball across. Here it is again at normal speed. Show pass, cut. Okay, now that we've got a little understanding of how a whipping action with the closing of the ankle at the end of the whip can help us move the ball, we're going to learn a different direction to move the ball with that same move. First one, we move the ball forward to the left. Now we're going to change directions and turn completely around the other way with the same motion. It looks like this. Okay, so now I'm going to use the whipping action, which is whip my leg down. At the end of the whip, I cut the ball across. But this time my whip is going to start way high above the ball, way up here, and step over the front of it, like so. So I can turn around and go directly behind me. Okay, so in slow motion, you lift that leg you're using up nice and high. I'm ready to turn my ankle in right as I whip down. Now you'll notice at the end of this move, watch my plant leg. My plant leg has to lift and get out of the way, or else the ball will run into it. So I chop down and I lift. And by lifting my plant leg, it also prepares me to push off and run after the ball. So, looks like this. Get above the ball, chop down, lift, X. Okay? This is moved in a game. This move is used in a game if I'm dribbling forward into space and I don't like what I see, the space closes up, or there's too many defenders, not enough attackers, I can spin around and go out the other side. It looks like this. Boom. Don't do it too many times in a row or you'll get dizzy. One tip for you all, which I'll show you in training, but you're going to need to hear it now anyways, because it's a common error that players make, is they use these maneuvers with the ball right under their feet, right here. But it doesn't work that way. These maneuvers are meant to be used where you're reaching out for the ball a little far in front of you, okay? So as you notice when I do this one, the ball is out in front of me and to my right, and that's how I can reach for it, take it there. Now when I'm going straight behind me, the ball's out in front of me, straight ahead, I reach out for it, chop down, make the move. If you try to do it here, right under you, hey, it works, it's just, it's crowded. You have more range as a player. You can stretch your leg farther and you can get to a ball that's farther away than you think, okay? So keep that ball farther away from you a little bit as you practice this move. Really push your limits a little, stretch for the ball. If you fall over a couple times, good. Then you're really pushing your limits and you're trying to get it right. Don't do it with the ball right under your body. It needs to be out in front of you a little bit, okay? Good.